Coach Matt is the head coach of the men's and women's cross country and track and field team here at Elms College. As a coach, he is responsible for teaching and improving the skills of his athletes. In addition to his job here at Elms College, he works as a math specialist at the Springfield High School of Commerce. There he works with students one-on-one to improve their math skills. Coach Matt's goal every day is to be a better person than he was the previous day. He lives by that philosophy every day in his teaching and coaching. Through his life, he defines his journey by moments of enlightenment, epiphany moments that have lit in his way. He pushes his athletes and students to be better every day, not only in their athletic disciplines and studies, but as members of their college or high school community. Coach Matt just completed his 5th year as the head coach of the cross-country team and will begin his 2nd season as the coach of the track and field team. Some other interesting facts about Coach Matt: he has completed 2 marathons, he has a love for reading, and he's a spiritual guy. Thank you for speaking with us tonight, Coach Matt. I present to you Coach Matt Dyer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do an activity pretty soon. We're going to get into it, but we're going to start the handing out of supplies process right now. Take 2 pieces of paper each. That's 2 pieces each. And 1 writing implement, please. I don't think I need the microphone, so I'm not going to use it. Unless people in the back can't hear me, you can all raise your hands. Can't hear me? Uh-oh. JK. And I'd like to just start off by thanking Sister Carol, Eileen Kirk, Campus Ministry. Thank you so much for having me here. Paul, thank you for interviewing me, recommending me for this as well. Rich Hernandez, I know you played a big part in getting me up here. Thank you. Alex and Eddie, thank you for the great music beforehand. Thank you for the trivia, everyone, too. Really excited to be up here with you. Grateful for the opportunity to get to talk to you. I'm going to share with you essentially how I got here to Elms College. More importantly, what moments have made me the coach that I am today. My biggest hope in this talk is that it can be of service. I'm highlighting that word service. It's going to come back in a little bit. To you guys, so that you guys can hopefully learn from some of the things I've learned from in the process and utilize them in your day-to-day life. How are we doing on that pass-out process? It's going to take a little bit. I'm going to explain what's going to happen, so just keep that paper and pens moving around. In a minute, how many people have done this activity too? It's one. Track athletes did it last year. I'm going to put a set of letters up on the board. What you're going to do is you're going to get 10 seconds to look at this picture of letters up there and memorize as much as you possibly can. After 10 seconds, it disappears. Your task is to write down what you remember. Then we're going to look at it and see how good you did. We're going to compare a couple things and talk a little bit about patterning, habit formation, etc.
Yeah, we need paper still over here.
Paper still, shortened paper. Hey, is that a lack of sheets of paper or it's still making its way around? You really don't need that much space either, so some of these people right here, if you want to rip your sheets in half, you can double down.
Napkins.
Napkins, all right. Napkins work too. Everybody good to go? All right, we're ready to rock. Here comes the first round, guys. Eyes up here. Thank you very much. You've got 10 seconds to watch on the big board here and memorize as much as you can. Nope, just memorize as many letters. You're going to copy them down as many as you can memorize. 3 seconds left. All right, write down as many as you can. Let's see who's the big winner here. All right, you got 5 more seconds to get down anything you're finishing up. And pens down. Here's what you're going to do. We're back up to this. Look at it. See how many letters you have in the proper space with the proper letter. Count them. Give yourself a point for every one and write the number of points you got in the upper right-hand corner of your sheet of paper. There. Oh, you only get a point if it's in the right spot in order, too. If you jumble stuff, no good. What's your question, Kevin?
Jumbled. Like the first
All right. Everybody has their point totals on their first sheet. Please flip that first sheet over and slide it to the side. Because we've got another 10-second block coming up. Let's see how you can do on this one. See if you can get a personal record here. Everybody ready for sheet number 2? 10 seconds to memorize it. Don't write it down until after the 10 seconds is up. And we go. Three seconds left to memorize. All right, write down what you remember. All right, 3 seconds to finish right now. What you got? 3, 2, 1. Let's see how we did this round. Every point or every letter in the proper place. Get you a point. Count how many points you got. Put it in the upper right-hand corner.
3, 6.
All right, everybody's got their point totals, I hope. Give me a yell if you're not ready. We're good? All right, what do we do? Better on the first take or the second take? Second. All right, if you scored higher in round 2, raise your hand. Let's see if it is. It's pretty close to unanimous. Most people did better that second round. Now, did anybody notice anything about round 1 and round 2? Any similarities? What is it?
They were the same letters, only round 2 made sense. Like
Yeah.
they were words.
The exact same letters, just spaced differently. So it's amazing how much better you did in the second round than the first, just based on some spacing. Now, why did we remember better? Because we've seen these patterns before, and they're already ingrained in our head a little bit. Now the question becomes, why is this important? First thing, it can be applicable when we're dealing with friends, colleagues, people we're trying to educate, etc. When we're trying to teach something. Say a friend comes home from a tough day at work and says, oh my gosh, my colleague shut down this great idea I had. I'm really bummed out. You could go to them, no, don't worry about it. They're wrong. You're right. They're probably just being mean, having a bad day, etc., etc. Or you could say, haters going to hate. You're just going to shake it off. Ooh, or whatever, right? Which one's going to stick in their head a little bit, and are they going to remember as they're moving through the day? T-Swift, amen. Preach it. All right? And you get a little added bonus. 2 days later, your friend's in the car. T-Swift comes on. Free advertising. Taylor Swift's telling them the exact same message, and they can remember it. And you don't even have to pay her either. Amazing. Second really good thing about this is you can learn about yourself and how you memorize things. Habit formation is really key in everything we do. We want to create positive habits and things that repeat over and over again so we can be successful in life. Yeah, how many people saw the halftime show at the Super Bowl? All right, who was doing that? Justin Timberlake, okay? Justin Timberlake was in a really popular 5-member boy band. What was the name of that? NSYNC. Okay. Let's think back to another really popular 5-member boy band. Not same time frame. Don't tell me like Backstreet Boys. What's an older one from like 20 years before that or something?
New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block are good. They're kind of close though. That's like maybe 10 years. I want even further back. I'm talking about 70s. Jackson 5. Exactly. So let's just imagine Jackson 5 and NSYNC are these repeats of each other in a different generation. Interesting fact, Michael Jackson's one of his first single hits that he put out when he was 21 years old, it's called Rock With You. Justin Timberlake, one of his first big hit singles on his own, Rock Your Body, when he was 22 years old. There's these patterns that repeat themselves constantly throughout life and have lots of success. Look for successful patterns, and you can kind of mimic them and have success. All right, here's the deal. Next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to throw lots of ideas at you. You're going to hear lots of words. Most of them, you're not going to remember. Okay? What I'm going to try to do, though, is tell you things with little things that you've heard before in the past. So what I want you guys to do is a favor to me, favor to yourself as well. If you hear something that sounds kind of vaguely familiar, and say, oh, geez, I think I've heard that before. Just put your hand up. You don't have to go way up. I'm not going to call you out or anything. But just gives me a little signal of where I'm hitting on stuff, what we've heard before, and it's also going to help lock it into your brain as we go through the process. Now, I'm supposed to be talking about transformative or epiphany moments. To be honest, I don't really feel like transformative and epiphany moments are really big bursting events for me. It's more of an accumulation of knowledge, skills, lessons that I've learned throughout life that have kind of given me a clarity to what I want to do, kind of gradually caused the fog to fade and brought everything into focus more than bang moments. But I will start with one that's a really interesting coincidence on how I'm here and why you're listening to me now, I guess. So in the summer of 2012, I was working as an assistant coach at Connecticut College, my alma mater, working with the track and field team there. I was up on a summer camping trip to Barton Cove in Gill, Mass. Has anybody ever been to Barton Cove? All right, we camp there. We used to go there like every summer with my friends. Really cool spot. Got those really big campsites for like 12, 15 people a couple of years too. It was a blast. Anyways, on the ride home from camping up in Barton Cove, driving down 91, by exit 13, saw that big billboard for Elms College, and I remember thinking to myself, man, I grew up in Massachusetts, eastern part of the state my whole life. I've never even heard of Elms College. It's interesting, you go, geez, there's so many schools that are so close to you that you don't even necessarily know about. But it was funny because 2 days later, I was on the USA Track and Field Cross Country and Coaches Association website, and there was a job posting, an opening for Elms College. I'm like, oh man, that's a really weird coincidence. I just saw this place, was just thinking about them. And now there's this opening. It was a cross-country position opening. I was a 100, 200 meter, 400 meter sprinter in college, working with our jumpers down at Con. I kind of helped out a little bit on the side with our cross-country team my last year there and was running 70 miles a week with the guys to kind of get a flair for what that felt like. But I thought to myself, I'm really a track and field coach, not a cross-country coach. I'm not going to apply. Kind of put it to the side. 2 days after that, one of my former coaches and now colleagues there sent me an email and said, Matt, you should really look at this opening at Elms College. Could be a great opportunity. Said they're looking for somebody young, exciting, who wants to grow in the profession. You should take a look at it. So that kind of locked into me. A couple too many coincidences. I have to apply for it. Let's see if I get it. Obviously, I got it. I'm here now. So sometimes in life you will see different opportunities that present themselves. You might not even go for it at first, but I was blessed in a situation where the Lord gave me that opportunity and kept knocking on me and said, hey, here it is, step through that open door. And that's how I'm here today and why you're here listening to me. And I hope the Lord helps me as we're going through this process and helps you give you some informative moments here tonight as well. Now the fact that I'm here, I've completed my master's degree. Well, that's another coincidence too. Right after I got the job here, I also got accepted into a master's program at Springfield College. Came to find out, oh man, that's like 10 minutes away. How perfect is that? So now that I'm here, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to be a leader for the athletes I coach, hopefully the student body in general. Question I have for you is, what's the best type of leader, do you think? And it's something from, how many of you read our common read book, United? All right, we got some people who read it. So what type of leadership does Cory Booker talk about in that? It's the type of leadership that Jesus is a perfect example of, too. Anyone want to give it a shot? What do you think? Sacrifice, that's a part of it. It comes into it is an S word, though. You sacrifice when you do. Yeah, service, a servant leader, exactly. It's essentially my job to give to my students and try to help multiply their talents. Who's familiar with the parable of the talents that Jesus told? You got a couple people have heard it? Right. This is actually in United as well. It was funny because I read United in the fall. I think 2 weeks after I read the parable of the talents, I was in Mass, and Father Mark actually spoke about it too. I think I remember mentioning it to you, Eileen, on our way out of that one. I was like, oh man, really locked this one in for me. So I'll explain the parable of the talents to you in a sec. All right, the parable of the talents goes, a master gave 3 of his servants talents, which was an ancient unit of money, to take care of while he was away for a long journey. 2 of his servants took the talents out into the marketplace, risked them, put them to work, and doubled what the master had given them. But the 3rd was afraid that he would lose the master's money, and so he buried the talent, hiding it from the world. When the master returned, he gathered his servants. He praised the men who had taken risks, who had gone into the marketplace and increased their talents. He rewarded them by bestowing on them more riches. And then he turned to the 3rd, the one who had buried his talent out of fear. He admonished him, calling him wicked for his conduct, and took the talent back. The only way to multiply your talents and the talents of others is to invest them, to give them away. I'm lowbrow, but I rock a little know-how. Never been a better time than right now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Now I'm kind of oversimplifying the process a little bit of giving to others and finding a deeper meaning, as we all kind of are on this roller coaster of life. We have ups and downs, peaks and valleys. When I enter into my valleys of doubt, I try to think of some sort of voice to click me in the right direction, to get me back in a positive giving mood. The voice that I hear has a slight French accent, but he helps illuminate the way for me. What I hear from him is, Life is so unnerving for a servant who's not serving. We're not whole without a soul to wait upon. And it reminds me to pick myself up and make sure I start giving back to others as a servant leader. Now, where do we find the people who need us all around us every single day? So when you see people that need help with something, or who look a little bit down, remember, every time they're down, you can make it right. And that makes you larger than life. If ever the task of helping others seems too daunting, don't overcomplicate it, simplify it down to its simplest form. And remember a saying from the Talmud, whoever saves one life saves the world entire. Whoever saves one life saves the world entire. Don't make it a big thing. Just see if you can help one person, and that's huge. It means all the world of difference, okay? Never forget that. When I wrote this speech over the winter holidays, I kind of stuck with that as I went through and did my edits over the past 6 weeks. There's only one real addition that I made because I heard it 2 days ago. Hopefully many of you heard this as well, and I feel like it really sums up what we're going for here in this speech and this talk. How many of you caught the Martin Luther King Jr. speech commercial during the Super Bowl? Did anybody hear that? Hear what he talked about? So this is from, in the beginning of the commercial, it said he gave this speech 50 years ago exactly from Super Bowl Sunday on February 4th, 1968. It's called his Drum Major Instinct speech. Some of the content of the speech has its origins from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 10. If you're ever checking out chapter 10 of Mark, it's in there. But I will repeat what he said in this commercial, in the speech, and what was written in Mark 10. If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. Now, God bless you guys. I hope you got a little something from the speech. You're all so talented and gifted. Give it away now. Give away all those talents and gifts that you have. Have fun with each other. Take care of each other. All right? Thanks for your time tonight.